I'm a Torres Strait Islander, a proud Torres Strait Islander, and I'm born and bred on Larrakia land. And I pay my respects to the Larrakia people, elders past and present. Thank you for the welcome and the invitation. And when I say that, having been born and bred here, I say that from a very deep place, that we must all respect the land that we live on here in Darwin, and it's always Larrakia land, never ceded. I started work on the wharf down there when I was 17 years old, and I worked with a lot of Larrakia people down there, and it's a place that a long time ago gave blackfellas a start where no one else would. And so I learnt a lot on the wharf, and I learned a lot about unity. I'm a proud union official, the Maritime Union of Australia. And in 1998, I was on that wharf. I was driving down to the wharf in the morning, listening to the radio, and John Howard, that bastard, had colluded with my employer, Patrick Stevedores, to drag us out of our livelihoods all around the country. And we fought back. And because of my union's part in social justice, being there at the forefront, helping the Gurindji people with the Wave Hill walk-off, the Pilbara strike, the community came out and helped us win. But you know what John Howard was doing at that time as well? I mean, he demonised us wharfies for over 12 months in the media relentlessly. Demonised us, said that we were lazy, said that we were bludgers, said that we had an underground criminal bullshit. They did that to demonise us, and at the same time, for those of you that remember and for the young people to understand, they were demonising our structure. That in the Barunga statement, in the 1980s, we'd called for a voice, and one was set up through ATSIC, and he demonised it, and then tore it down in 2005. And while he was unsuccessful at de-unionising workers, he took away that structure that we had. He took away a voice. And we've called for a voice so many times in the past because we know Black Lives Matter and we know we need to make them listen. As far back as the 1920s, the Australian Aboriginal Progressive Association, a wharfie was the leader of that, Fred Maynard. The Protection Board, the police, they hounded it down until it went out of existence. Every other time that we've built a strong voice, the government and the authorities have tried to silence us. But you know what? Today shows they cannot silence us. We will always come back. We will always resurge. We will come back more powerful than ever every time they try and silence us. We must fight back. And so, you know what? We had 1 million people on the streets last weekend. How proud did that make you feel? Black Lives Matter. And I look around and I see all the allies. I see you. The Australian people are ready to walk with us to change this. It's the politicians in Parliament that are standing in the way, and we need to make sure that they're held accountable. And so 1 million men, 1 million women, 1 million of our children is not enough. It's so great to see such a good turnout today. And I hope our brothers and sisters down south are organising, as we will, for another rally, so that we keep going, we maintain this momentum until we change the system, until we tear down the institutions that harm our people. And so what I want to say to you is that we must fight on, but we also must box smart. If every time that we change the law to make it good, they change it and regress it back to what it was before. If every time we get decent policy, they tear it down. If every time we march the streets, they make the promises that they will break, They give us the tools that the oppressor used to shut us up, inquiries, royal commissions, recommendations that they never follow through. That we must be smarter about how we fight. And I've been travelling the country with the Uluru Statement from the Heart, and I know that we must turn this action into votes. We must turn it into changing the rulebook of the nation so that our voice will always be heard in the centre of decision making, and we make sure that Black Lives Matter. Thank you. And shout out to these deadly sisters. How deadly are they? Thank you, Millie.